Players have managed to beat Fallout 3 with all sorts of random and usually terrible weapons, or even without killing anyone. I myself am guilty of doing this as well. But I decided it might be interesting to try out a different kind of challenge, one that's a little more based around acquiring the challenge weapons rather than actually using them. So let's see if it is actually possible to beat Fallout 3 using only the custom weapons. I began by naming myself James to see if there is any unique dialogue with Dad. I don't think there was. Since there are custom weapons of each category, I built a pretty average all-around character. The birthday happens, a radroach gets shot, my request for an essay-based test gets denied. It's all the same stuff that we're used to. I picked small guns, explosives, and lockpick as my tag skills. At this point, escaping the vault without killing anyone is pretty trivial and boring, so I'll just meet y'all back out in the wasteland in 5 minutes. Oh, how I love the irradiated sunlight. On the way to Megaton, I will explain my plans for this run. Custom weapons are different in this game than they are in Fallout 4 or 76, or even New Vegas. There are a total of 7: the dart gun, the railway rifle, the rocket launcher, the nuka grenade, the bottle cap mine, the Deathclaw gauntlet, and the shish kebab. You need 4 random items to build each weapon, as well as a set of schematics. To make the run a little more interesting, I decided that I would have to build at least one of each weapon before beating the game. I attempted to give the robot the latest fashion trend. I then proceeded to disarm the bomb and began storing components in one of the house lockers. For possibly the first time ever, I actually bought some junk from Moira, then drank some lukewarm water, got Dad's location from a terminal, and stopped at Silver's house to get a few easy caps. I located my puppy brother in the scrapyard. I then did some stuff in Fragmine Amusement Park and had just enough caps to purchase the shish kebab schematics from Lucky outside of Megaton. How lucky. At some point, I actually found the key to John's treasure box. I don't think that's ever actually happened before. I decided to actually follow the main story quest line as much as possible, let Dogmeat do all the work, return to Megaton, and I think I wanted to try to build something here, but honestly, I'm not sure. This run was ages ago at this point. I liberated the food from the Super Duper Mart, where I began to wonder what a Dogmeat only playthrough might end up being like. I then managed to steal the medical supplies without dying. I successfully crippled myself first try as well, did a few trades, and finally managed to construct my first custom weapon, a bottle cap mine. Unfortunately, they aren't really all that practical for constant use unless you have all the schematics and can make 3 of them at once. After a pacifist run through the Anchorage Memorial, I was able to build a shish kebab. This weapon is vastly superior. It's a melee weapon, so no ammo required, and it lights people on fire. Fire is always good, until it's used against you or your home. Apparently, I'm actually bad enough at this game to die from the first behemoth encounter. That was a surprise, because as it turns out, melee weapons are not that great against the behemoth. I have to wonder how bad this would have been with the toy knife. Thankfully, on the 3rd try, the behemoth decided to attack the Brotherhood instead of myself, allowing me to come in for the kill. I passed 3-dog speech check first try. Fighting the behemoth turned me off from shish kebab combat, and I was able to buy the rocket launcher schematics from Moira, and just like that, weapon 3 of 7 was built. The discount junk jet also isn't really that practical in this game because it uses junk as ammo, so it will mostly be ignored to the superior shish kebab. After arriving in Rivet City for the first time, I was sent to the remains of Project Purity, which is mostly regular mutants and brutes. Not really much more here, move on, though I think this is the latest I've ever gotten the VATS tutorial. I ended up dying from a trap in a church, which put me like 15 minutes back, and that frustrated me enough to end the first stream. On the second stream, I set 2 helpless insects on fire, did the same thing to some mole rats, overheard a nice mature argument at Tenpenny Towers, and decided to help them out. I also finally got the schematics for the dart gun. I stole a lot of random crap from a scavenger. He eventually caught me, so I burned him at the knot stake. Also, I finally decided to try out the rocket launcher. At the very least, it is fun to watch feral ghouls die after being hit by a box of detergent and scrap metal. I tackled the Tenpenny Tower quest the fast way, and though I got lost multiple times, I eventually found the main ghoul colony. The reward was caps. Thanks, Gustavo. Back in Megaton, I crafted my fourth weapon, the dart gun. It has a lot of good uses. I located Jocko's Pop Stop and Shop, I probably mispronounced that, where I obtained a Nuka-Cola Quantum, a bottle cap mine, and the useless bottle cap mine schematics. I then arrived at Smith Casey's garage, where I entered the VR-type world of Job and Life Simulator. I then upgraded myself to level 6, did the thing with the failsafe, and escaped with Doggo Dad. I actually used the hotkey system for once. I beat a robot to death with the flame sword, traded in Rivet City, promised Madison a date at the Purifier at 7 p.m., and also started stealing Independence for reasons I don't actually remember. I killed some Subway Raiders, angry about the footlongs now costing $6 instead of $5. I killed a super mutant with a soda bottle, found Sydney all alone, and this section is basically the same as it always is. I did face a minor setback that included death, but I was more upset about having to start from the beginning of the archives than about being prematurely sent to hell. Mr. Gwinnett successfully deduced my identity as a spy, so I beat him to death with a bottle, can, and Sydney's bullets. I let Sydney survive for possibly the first time in a long time. I talked to Riley about something in the underworld, obtained schematics for the choo-choo gun, and returned the declaration. I don't consider duplicate rewards to be real rewards, so I took out my anger by building a new toy. I killed some tourists attempting a 24-hour challenge. You guys remember when that was a thing? Attempting that challenge in 2020 is grounds for immediate execution in my book. After the obligatory work for Dad section, I shoved a railway spike into the eye of an unfortunate Enclave soldier. The railway rifle is still pretty solid in this game, even though it's not quite as good as the one in Fallout 4 76, it's pretty sufficient, especially for this kind of a run. The Citadel portion is the same as usual. I then decided to lie to Moira to forward her quest. Don't worry, vaccine testers lie all the time and make up patients. I was just following the norm. I gained entry into Little Lamplight on my second try, where I fought my way through Murder Pass, burned some mutants alive. Fun fact, we didn't actually fight anything tougher than a brute this time around, and I got the Gek, which I assume probably stands for Gigolos Enjoy Colonel Autumn's Kiwis. I hit level 10 and concluded the second stream. I began the third stream by somehow setting a full suit of Enclave power armor on fire. I played with my non-perishable food, one idiot brought a saw to a nail gun fight, I enacted Scorched Earth on the Enclave base, and I got myself this cute little Deathclaw as a pet for the rest of the base. Isn't he adorable? It wouldn't be a challenge run without something really weird happening, and in this case, it was an Enclave soldier who was friendly toward me and would actually talk to me, despite me murdering his friends a few seconds earlier. Obviously, I still killed him, but I'm still not really sure I've seen this happen, at least not recently. Fawkes refused to join me due to my bad karma. I did lots of trading, and then blue-balled the Lionses by refusing to start the final battle. I found this little Mayo stain that becomes the leader of the Brotherhood in a decade. I got everything repaired, and I find it ironic that the Brotherhood trading, repairing person has a weaker repair skill than most of the actual Wastelanders. I forgot that the Broken Bow has a gas leak, which resulted in fire, but I did manage to make progress on 2 quests, which eventually led to obtaining Harkness's useless plasma rifle. I then scavenged a power station, which ironically had a copy of Dean's Electronics, so the person can study on the job. No wonder our electrical grid is in such bad shape right now. At the F. Scott Key Cancel Culture Campground, I located the Deathclaw Gauntlet schematics, the last component needed to craft my 6th custom weapon. I grilled some rad roaches, roleplayed a Deathclaw against a group of slavers, shot a frag grenade out of the air with the frickin' dart gun, that was actually kind of epic, and finally located the Nuka grenade schematics. And just like that, the final weapon has been crafted. At the Robco facility place, I reprogrammed the facility robots, and the game crashed on the way back, as is tradition. I don't even know why I did that quest in the first place at that point. I returned to the game by traveling to the Citadel. Liberty Prime then ascended into the heavens. Many explosions happened, and this part really isn't as epic as it was in 2009 the first time I played through the game. But with all that, we entered the Memorial one last time. The Enclave here really weren't much of an issue. There are so many weapons available now, it's not really worth mentioning. I then failed a 71% speech check, resulting in Autumn burning alive. From there, we input the code, and I beat Fallout 3 using only custom weapons. This is honestly a run I've wanted to do for a very long time, far before challenge runs were even a big thing on YouTube. It was a lot of fun. The weapons are actually really not that bad, just a little bit tough to gain access to. Would definitely recommend this one for my Fallout 3 fans out there. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you back here soon for another challenge run.